Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, it's Eve with Eve's Creations Paint Party. The canvas is blank. Why? Because it's How To Tuesday. Tonight is all about a city skyline, okay? So I'm going to show you the tips and tricks that I've learned over the years on how to do a city skyline, and hopefully with your practice session, you can make your paintings that much better. Alrighty, so let's get started. We got to say hi to you-know-who-who. You'll never know when you might be chiming in. There's the man of the hour. There he is, the Butterface. Yep, you're the Butterface, giving me the sniff downs. I see that, yes. You never know. Sometimes he just starts chiming in. He wants to be part of the party, and that's all there is to it. Let me show you my handy-dandy table. Okay, same colors every single video. Black, blue, yellow, red, and white. Of course, I have my coffee. That's numero uno. I have a whole bunch of brushes. I'll tell you what I'm using when I'm using it. No worries. When you get your brush ready, you want to dip in water, do a little swirl, tap, dab on a paper towel. You want your bristles to be wet but not dripping. Alrighty, so there you go. There's that. Here I am. Hello, 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 Rochelle. How are you doing, sweetheart? Rochelle's in the house, right? So we just got to wait for everybody to pop on. Everybody to pop on and go on my page and find where I'm at and all of that good stuff. So, stars is enabled, all right, just to give you all a heads up. And my links, I'm going to share them now. This way it's all said and done. All right, so let's see here. We've got we have Cash App, bam, and we have PayPal, bam, and we have last one. We have Venmo in here somewhere. Venmo. Bam! Those are the only links that you should be using, so make sure you're paying attention. I don't want anybody to get taken advantage of. Replays are always, always, always available, so I will share my YouTube link, and they're also available on my page under the video tab. Alrighty, so there you go. Now, you're all set, and I'm good with touching buttons. Hello, 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 Amanda. How are you, sweetheart? And I'm got all the buttons out of the way. We got all the buttons out of the way. We got Rochelle and Amanda. And let's see, Joan is hanging out with us. Hello, 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 Joan. How are you doing? Being a watcher, that's fine. You guys, you want to practice. This is also to get you started for, I don't know what this eyebrow's doing. It's very weird looking at yourself in the camera, just to let you guys know. Like, I notice all these little things, and I'm like, what is that? Also, for Friday's painting, the city skyline. So, if you guys want to get a head start on that, I'm going to show you the skyline in that. I'm going to go over a few things, and you guys are going to be all set, okay? So, I'm going to put you in your handy-dandy holder while more people pop on. And we'll get this thing started. Whoops. Whoops. So, Friday's painting is on a 16 by 20. So, I'm working on a 16 by 20. And it's being held this way. So, it's 16 this way, 20 straight up and down. If you're getting a head start on that, I'm going to plug you guys in. So, here comes the electric. Going to electrocute y'all. There we go. So we have power. Hello, 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 Kim. How you doing, sweetie? Haven't seen you in a minute. Kim is here. Oh, yeah. All right. So, love your lives, teaching me heaps. Well, thank you so much, Amanda. I love that you guys are here. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are, you guys being here is what makes the world go around 6,000%. So, hello, 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 Amanda, and I'm glad you're here, okay? So, anyway, I got to throw a background on here. So, oh, and thank you so much for the stars, love. Thank you so much. So, those of you, the stars, I don't know what they are on your end. On my end, they're about a penny each, so I think they might be a little bit more for you guys now. Hello, 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 Tina. So I really appreciate it. Make sure if you're sending me $3 or more of support, you message me your address, right? Name, how you sent support, your address, message me, Facebook Messenger, so you can be in the contest to win a free brush set, all right? Don't miss your opportunity to enter in for the free brush set. So the whole month of September, I'm running the contest. So make sure you guys get in there. The more that you send $3, the more you got to send me a message every single time you do it, and that gives you more entries into getting your name pulled to, well, your card pulled to win the contest, okay, to win the free brush set. So just a heads up on that, all right? So the more times, not the more amount, the more times that you donate, $3 minimum, keep sending me that message and name and address, and this way you have more of a chance to win, because you're going to be in the pile of names more than once. I think that made sense. Anyway, all right. So, a few things I want to go over, a few things I want to tell you about. Okay, 6,000% is when you're doing a city skyline, right? So those of you that didn't see Friday's painting yet, this is Friday's painting. This is hello, hello, hello. Oh, okay, okay, Amanda, no worries. Hi, Becky. Hello, 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 sweetheart. So this is Friday's painting. All right, so I'm going to go over a few things, and then we're going to do this part. So those of you that want to get a head start for Friday, we're going to be doing, I'm going to show you how to do this part, okay? So 6,000%. On Friday, I am going to show the whole entire thing. So no worries if you didn't, if you're not doing this tonight, because Friday I will be showing you. Some of you voiced some concerns, so if you want to do this in a couple of steps, I'm going to tell you how to do that part. But there's a few things I want to talk to you guys about as far as doing a city skyline. All right, so the first thing, no worries, everyone's just popping on right now. Becky, you're all good, sweetheart. So the first thing is, right, how to paint a building. Well, a building is just cubes. They're just cubes, right? So they're squares, okay? They're squares with sides, right? No worries. So I'm grabbing Big Boy, and I'm going to grab some blue paint, okay? And I'm going to grab a little smidge of white. All right? So buildings are squares, okay? And I know everybody out there can do a square, okay, or a rectangle, right? So, right, we need a rectangle or a square, okay. So I'm going to do a rectangle. All right. So I'm using the flat of my brush, okay, because that is square, and I am just putting my brush on here and I'm pulling down. All right. So let gravity, if you're using an easel, let gravity do the work for you as far as getting your line straight. And then you could always turn your brush and use the edge of that flat brush, right? Because that's what Big Boy is. He's a flat brush. And you could clean up your sides, okay? So that's the first thing, right? We got to make a rectangle. No worries. Now, to make a cube, you are going to do the sides. All right. Now, in a city skyline, the only side, to make it easy, the only side that I did was this side. But if you want to make, you know, maybe you want to show the rooftops in your city, right? Maybe you want to show the tops of the buildings. So what you want to do is you're going to make a cube, okay? So all of these lines that I'm going to do from these points are all at the same angle. Okay, so bam, one there, one there. Notice I'm moving my hand, but I'm not moving the brush, right? I kept it in the same way to get my angles pretty close to the same angle, okay? And then you could always fill and fix, no worries, okay? So I'm going to drop in this part, bam. And I'm going to drop in this part, going across, bam. Okay, so now you have a cube, right? So all of these should approximately be about the same angle. All right, and you just fill this in, and when you do the sides of a building, you just want to fill in the sides and the top a little darker than the front. If your light is coming straight onto your city, if your light is coming from a like over here, then you would be doing your front darker and your sides lighter. Okay, so all depending where your light is coming, we're going to keep this easy peasy lemon squeezy. So the light is coming from the front. Okay, the light is coming from the front. 6,000%. Okay, so there's the side, right? And I'm just grabbing a little bit of black with this blue, and here is the top. Okay, and just like that, you're going to have a building shape. Okay, so they're just cubes. That's all they are, right? How many times have, I tell you guys that find the shapes in the objects that you are painting, right? Find the shapes in the objects that you are painting. And then as you're filling this in, you could always fix it, right? You could always fix it and schmooze it and get your lines to be perfect. Get your angles to be, I don't even know if my angles look perfect because I'm painting this from the side. So mine might be a little hunky-dory right now, but that's okay. All right, as long as you're understanding the process, that's all that matters to me. Okay, so you just have to learn this. That's it. Once you got this, you can do a city all day long. All day long. Right now, I don't, in the city for Friday, I did not do the tops of the buildings. Okay, I didn't do the tops of the buildings. All right, so when you don't do the top of the building, you're still going to make your square. I'm grabbing blue and white again. Okay, you're still going to make your square. Let me, right here, right? So I'm going to make my, my little rectangle here, my little square. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then you're going to turn around and you do the side, right? You do the side of the building, which is the angles out. And you just don't want to make your angles that drastic. You don't want to make your angles that drastic, okay? So see how I made this one go swoop all the way up like that? This one I'm going to put it pretty much even with the line that's in front. Okay, drop that down. Fill this in. Right, my light's coming from the front, so the side of this is going to be darker. And there you have the building. Okay, hello, 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 Marlene. How are you, sweetheart? What's going on? Good morning from Australia. Hi, babe. Oh, wow, that is so awesome. Isn't technology amazing? Like, we're halfway across the world from each other. Hello, 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 Gail. Sent before finishing what I want. No worries, Marlene. It's all good. Hello, 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 Gail. How are you doing, sweetie? Hello, 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 April. How are you, sweetheart? It's all good, Marlene. I still think it's amazing that we're across the world. I think I said country. Across the world. And I'm in New Jersey and you're in Australia and we're talking to each other. So I think that's just absolutely insane. I love it. 6,000%. It's so cool. It is so cool. So there you have it, right? And then I just do a line across the top like this to schmooze it all together. You're good. You keep sending before you finish. That's okay. I'm all right, April. How are you? How are you? Gail, you're doing good tonight? Excellent, excellent. Glad to hear it. Hello, 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 everybody. So if you can paint this, you can paint a city skyline right there. Okay? Now, to make a city look like a certain city, right? Say, you pick a city and you want to do that skyline of the city, right? So how do you make it look like that city? Well, I'm going to tell you. To make it look like that city, what you're going to turn around is you're going to look at the buildings, and then like say it's New York, right? And I have the Empire State Building, right? So what I do is you're going to look at the shapes in that building. Okay, so the Empire State Building starts as a cube, right? And then it has another piece, right? Has another piece going up, all right? A little bit smaller than the first one. Okay, and then it has another piece, right? Like it's just stacked blocks. That's all it is, right? It's just stacked blocks. Okay, so you want to look at the shape that the outside of the building is making. Okay, you want to look at that shape, and then you just draw it in by shape. You know, some buildings have that. Hello, Helen. How are you, sweetheart? Hi. Enjoying your April. Healing wishes and prayers to you, love dove. Say hello to Marlene, everybody. She's hailing in from Australia. Australia, mate. That's my Australian accent, if you guys couldn't figure it out. Hello, Tina. How are you doing, sweetie? Tina is here. That's okay. Everybody's coming in late. All right. So you want to look at with the brushes. I want to buy them in Australia. Let you know what you need. Ooh, that went way quick. That comment was like here and not here. Yes, art is amazing. It is amazing therapy. Yes. So, hello, Tammy. How are you doing, sweetheart? 2 from Australia. Oh my goodness gracious. That's so awesome. I get a kick out of that. I really, really, really do. Okay, so you want to follow the shape of your, I actually follow this woman. She's a makeup artist, doing this hobby of mine, and, she's in Australia. So I think it's so cool. All right. So you follow what the shape looks like of your building, right? Some of them, hello. So some of them, right, have an angled top to it. So you're very simply just going to do your building, do your square, your rectangle, right? All buildings are rectangles for the most part, unless it's something really fancy. Right, so you do your rectangle, right? You break the building into pieces. So you do your rectangle, and then you just turn around and you put your triangle on the top of it. Okay? You just put your triangle on the top of it, and you have that building. Okay, guys? So don't let the shapes of buildings or a skyline that is like this, throw you off. Take it piece by piece. Draw your rectangles piece by piece. Add your tops piece by piece, right? Don't turn around and say, oh, this is going like this, and then turn around and try to do something like this across your painting, thinking you're going to capture that skyline. No. Don't do that, right? Now, it might seem like it'd be easier and faster, and you're just going across, and there you go. But you're going to wind up having, like problems, right? Because then you got to line this up and line these up, and everything has to be copacetic, and it might not work out for you. But if you do this, and then draw the building next to it, right? And then draw the building that's on this side, okay? And then you pay attention also to where the buildings hit each other. Right? Is the building next to it taller or shorter? Right? Taller or shorter. So it's hitting here. Right? So I'm looking at this, and I'm looking to see where the building next to it is hitting this. And then I just line that up in my picture. Okay? I just line that up in my picture. And then I look at the next building where it's hitting this. Okay? So maybe the next building is taller than that one. So then I put it taller than that one. All right, so you take your skyline and you want to break it down piece by piece, building by building. Okay, none of this quickie stuff here. None of this quickie stuff unless you're, unless you're just playing around doing like an abstract type of thing or whatever. That's you got to take it building by building, right? So I was doing the Empire State Building here, right? So once I have all my little squares and triangles and everything all stacked up, then I'm going to add my sides. So you're going to follow the same angle as everything else. Okay, so I have the side here, I have the side here, I have the side here, I have the ceiling, okay? And then you just run your brush and connect it all together. Alright, you connect it all together, just like that. And now your little rectangle is now the Empire State Building, or whatever building you want, whatever, whatever city you're looking at, all of that good stuff. So it's just like when you were little. Hello, Kelly, how are you doing, sweetheart? It's just like when you were little and you used to stack blocks, right? You used to stack blocks. That's what you're doing. You're stacking blocks. That's all you're doing. You're looking at the shapes and you're doing them piece by piece. You're not going to turn around and try to do one of these. Oh, and then this part goes up and then this part goes down. And, you can do that if you want to give yourself a little guide. But to actually paint the skyline, you want to do it piece by piece. And it sounds like it would take you forever, but honestly, it just falls into place for yourself. It just falls into place. Okay? And then another thing is, as you're doing your sides, right? So this one would have a side, okay? Then you want to put the side in this one. Maybe you're not seeing, maybe you just see the front of this building. Maybe it's completely against that building to where there is no side, so you don't have to worry about throwing a side in there, right? So, but these buildings are, maybe there's a road, maybe there's like a, a city, a little alleyway or something, right? Maybe there's a little alleyway, so you're going to see the side of this building, right? You're going to see those sides of those buildings because maybe there's like a little alleyway going in there. And then once you put your side in, you can go in and you can add the building next to it, right? So how do you add the building next to it if you have a side? You very simply just cut it in. You just cut it in right over the top. That's it. You just cut it in right over the top. So then you have the side of the building and then the building next to it. Alright? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I'm going to let whoever's practiced along catch up mustard. I just gave you a whole ton of information. Say you want to do the top and the sides of this one. It's the same thing. It's the angles. Okay, so I'm going to put an angle here. I'm going to put an angle here. Put an angle here. Drop in the color. Okay, so maybe you want to do the tops and the sides of these buildings, right? So you turn around and put your angles in and then just drop the sides in. So it's not, and like I said, you just want to make sure that your angles are all the same. Okay, so bam, 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 just like that. Just like that. Alright, so you just want to make sure that all of your angles on that building are the same. And I do that, you just seen me do it like 4 times. I kind of leave the brush still, and I just go boop, boop, boop. So I leave the brush in my hand exactly the way it is doing the first line, and I just move my arm, and I move my hand, and I just line these all up and drop those in. So this way they're all pretty close to being the exact same angle throughout the whole thing. And I almost just put my brush in my coffee. It almost got me. I was 2 seconds away from the top of my coffee with Big Boy. 2 seconds away. Oh my goodness. And you guys want to laugh, right? So I have my shirt folded up. Can you see? I have my shirt folded up on the bottom because the blue paint decided to squirt me. It just takes practice, love, and it's all the same angles. So the blue paint decided to squirt me, so I folded my shirt up. That way I don't get the blue paint all over my arms like that other night. 6,000%. Alright, so you guys ketchup, mustard, and then I'm going to go into, I'm waiting for it to dry. Here, I'll show you. I literally have my shirt. Look, I'll show you. See? See my shirt? It's folded up like that. See? Because I have the, see the big splash of blue right there? That's why I folded my shirt up. So I wouldn't get that paint all over myself. That's what, you know, that's the things we do. That's what you're walking into when you come to Eve's Creations. That's it. We make messes here. And they're totally fine. Okay, ketchup mustard, guys. Ketchup mustard. If you have a problem with 3D, as Tina is saying, she has a problem with 3D. Cheers, everybody. It's just practice. And sometimes when you're doing 3D, it doesn't feel right. It feels awkward. It feels awkward when you first try to do things in 3D because you're drawing these lines in and it just feels weird, right? And that's okay. Or it looks weird, right? Like, so all I can tell you is the more you do it, the more it's going to become more and more natural to you. And the more these pieces right here don't feel awkward and weird anymore. Okay? Don't feel awkward and weird anymore. So there's lots of ways to do it. And what's really cool is that this isn't see-through. So you don't have to worry about the back corners or any of that. It's not see-through. Okay? So you don't have to worry about any of that. You're just doing this side, and then if you want the top, you can do the top in there too. Alright, guys? So, now that you understand the concept behind making the buildings and making your little squares and putting in your little roadways and all of that happy stuff, I'm going to show you the first half of Friday's teaching. So those of you that want to get a head start on Friday, some of you were a little concerned, felt like it was a little much. I'm going to show you how to do the Skyline for Fridays. I'm going to show you the same thing on Friday. So if you miss it, or you're just watching tonight, or you're just listening, that's totally fine, 6,000%. I'm going to show you the same. I'm going to do all of the painting on Friday, but some of you might want a head start. This way on Friday, you're only dealing with the bridge. So I'm gonna show you the deal for Friday. So the first part, swirl, tap, dab, and big boy, and you need a background. So the background on Friday is blue, white, and black. White, blue, white, and black is the background. Okay, and you just go up and down. You just go up and down, right? And if you like the separation of color, you'll leave it alone. If you like it nice and soft and muted, you keep brushing over it. And as you're brushing over it, all of those colors will blend together. So your background is blue, white, and black for doing Friday. All right. So, and no worries. I am going to do the entire painting on Friday. But I'm doing the city skyline with those of you tonight. Those of you that want to take it in sections, right? Because I just got done saying doing things in sections is sometimes better. Right? Is sometimes better for you. Some of you voiced some concern about Fridays. You know, feeling a little bit overwhelmed about it. And that's okay. There is a lot in that painting. It's one of my paintings that, you know, there's a lot of stuff. But last Tuesday, I taught you the reflections. Tonight, I'm teaching you the skyline. So this way, for Friday, you guys can put it all together. And you're going to feel more comfortable with the entire painting. So there's one thing I always, you know, and I want you guys to start, you know, training your brain this way. And, you know, you don't even have to be painting to be able to do this. Like you can do this, you can do what I'm going to tell you, you can do this practice not even painting, all right? So everything I show you guys, you always turn around and hear me say, that's a square, that's a triangle, that's a teardrop, that's a this shape, that's a that shape. Everything I show you guys, I show you in the process of finding the shapes in objects, right? So as you're walking around, as you're hanging out, doing life stuff, whatever you're doing, practice looking at something and in your mind breaking it down into a shape. All right? Say you're walking your dog. Right? You can look at your dog and be like, "Oh, that's like an oval, and his head's like a triangle, and his ears are triangles." So, as you're doing your life, whatever you may be doing, maybe you're sitting in a park and looking at like swings or something, right? You can turn around and be like, "Oh, the sides of the swing set are two triangles. The seats are squares." Start looking at objects and being able to find the shape in that object. And everything's going to get easier for you because everybody can draw a square. You might need a little bit of practice to draw a cube, and that's okay. But you can draw a square, you can draw a rectangle, you can draw a triangle, a circle. How do you never see what you painted under the new painting? What, Tammy? Oh, painting over this, you mean? Once acrylic dries, you can paint right over it. And you have to put your paint on thick enough to be able to cover it. Or you might need a few coats. Also, if you want to reuse a canvas, I highly recommend getting gesso. It's Gesso, and that is a canvas primer. And if you do 2 or 3 coats of gesso and then go to use the canvas, your paint is going to have more coverage that way. The reason you're not seeing this is because all of this is blue and black and white. See what I did there? So I'm painting over this, but I'm using the exact same colors that I used to make those buildings. So 6,000%, it's all the same color. So I got you, honey. So you're not gonna see it coming through because it's gonna just mix in with the rest of it. 6,000%. Okay, so then the water area. The water area is the same colors except going the other direction. Alright, but if you're trying to use a canvas that you want to reuse it and there's something painted on it, I recommend blue, white, and black. I recommend going in with using gesso. Okay, so your skitty skyline. Your skitty skyline. Okay. Your city skyline. You want to find your halfway point of your canvas and then go below it. Alright? Find your halfway point of your canvas and then go below it. Alright? And the water is the same colors except my brush strokes are going in the other direction. Alright, so those of you that want to get a head start for Friday, that's why I'm doing all this. Okay, so no worries, right? Once you drop this in, okay, you're going to just drop this all in. And so it's GESSO. It's more affordable than paint. And what you do is when you put your first layer on, you're still going to see underneath it. If you want to get really particular and have a really, really, really smooth surface, you're going to turn around and sand it with a really, really, really fine sandpaper, not a really gritty one, and then put your next coat. And you still might, like, even after you do like 2 or 3 coats, especially if you went cheap on the gesso, you're still going to see some colors and stuff coming through. But that's okay, because then once you put, it's going to be fine. Once you put paint on the top of that, you're not going to see what was underneath. I paint over canvases all the time. I have a stack, guys. I have a stack, like you wouldn't believe, of this in the room. I have to do my gesso project like nobody's business. I probably am sitting on 30 canvases of stuff that's just from the how-tos and everything else. It's a little nutty. I like the angles of the filbert. Do you think? Sorry, I lost it. I like the angles of the filbert. Do you think that would help with 3D? Hello, Yolanda. Hi, Sherry. How are you, sweetheart? You know, whatever brush you want to use, April. I mean, like, it's really personal preference. If those of you that don't know what April's talking about, this is a filbert. This is a filbert. Okay? I like using a flat because it's square. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well, Sherry, because it's a square, and I'm doing squares. But if you like the filbert, and you could tuck this in the corner and then pull and have it at an angle, that's personal preference, really. That's all up to you. It'd be the same thing. The filbert's just doing the angles for you, but, you know, my opinion, let me just start off saying that, my opinion is that it would be easier for you with a square brush, because then you have more control of your angles and what the angles are. That's my opinion. But at the end of the day, whatever brush you're more comfortable with, obviously, is the brush that you should use. So whatever brush that you're more comfortable with, that's the brush that you're going to get used to. All right, we have Tina in the house. Rochelle is here. Amanda, Joan, Kim, another Tina, are my 2 Tinas, and we got Becky and Marlene and Gail, April, Helen, Tammy, Kelly, Yolanda, and Sherry are here. Yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, in this city, right, I have red buildings, black buildings, blue, gray, okay, all different types of buildings going on, all different shades. All right, so we are going to turn around, and while this is, we're going to start mapping stuff in. You're here also. Hello, Carolyn. How are you doing, doll baby? Carolyn is here. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to map just in white. We're not going to map just in white because you're going to get confused of what building is what. Right? So we're going to map using those tones that I just showed you. And we want to turn around And we're going to do the buildings in the back first. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I did the buildings in the front first when I painted the original. So it really doesn't matter. But we'll start with the buildings in the back. And I need to get more paint, 6,000%. I am completely out of blue, white, and black. So I got to grab some more white. Hopefully the blue behaves this time, guys. And doesn't squirt me. Doesn't squirt me like nutty. Okay? So I am grabbing fresh, clean paint. And those buildings, we're going to use mini-me for. Okay? Because they're all small. Or if you have a 1/2 inch flat in your arsenal, which I suggest as an extra brush, you guys pick up a 1/2 inch flat. I'm actually thinking, and thank you, Becky, for the idea. I don't know when I'm going to get to it because I have to have the initial investment. But I'm thinking of putting together a supplemental set. What do you guys think? You guys tell me your opinion. I'm thinking about putting together a supplemental set of brushes. That's going to have smaller flats in it, a fan, maybe a liner, you know, extras, like ones that you could play with, ones that you can use instead of the stock set that I use for every single party. These will be things to supplement, and you can use them. April, you said you're interested? Awesome. All right, so I had that in the back of my head because Becky reached out to me and asked me if I could get her different sized flats. And she put the idea in my head to put together a brush set that would be supplementary brushes to what we do. So my parties will always be the initial set, right? The parties will always be the brushes that are in the initial set. I will never do a party or a painting unless I'm showing you guys something that is not those core brushes. But I'm thinking to doing something that adjacent to that, or to kind of just add to your arsenal of brushes that you would use doing other people's tutorials or playing on your own, or maybe you like to use those, like, because tiny is tiny. I mean, mini-me is small compared to big boy, and there are sizes in between. So I'm playing with that idea. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about that. Okay, so I don't, like I said, I'm not 6,000% there. I'm gonna have to turn around and figure out, you know, I'm gonna have to find brushes that are affordable but of good quality. I knew these brushes were of good quality because I used them for my paint party business. And we're going on like 7 years of that. And, you know, Big Boy and the Fluffies are hanging tough. So I'll have to do my research to make sure that what I'm finding is of good quality and something that's going to last you and something that is user-friendly. All right, I got mini-me and I made gray. All right, black and white. Black and white. So I made gray. And we're going to put in our squares. Some of you are not good enough to use Big Boy all the time. Yes. Okay. Yep. I hear that, Becky. I got you. I got you. Yeah. So we're going to put in our squares. Okay. So I'm going to start here. Notice I'm moving my hand, not the brush. And I am just going to drop in. Now, this skyline doesn't mimic any particular skyline. It's just buildings. So if you want it to look like a certain skyline, like I said, you look at the shapes on the buildings and you can add those shapes to your squares. Okay? So I got a gray one. Now I'm going to dip my brush into some blue. Right, and I'm going to put in a blue one over here. Now, these are the buildings in the back, so you want your colors to be very muted. Not bright at all. Alright, so very muted, and all I'm doing is putting in these rectangles. Alright, because these are the buildings that are behind all the other buildings. Okay, these are the buildings that are behind the other buildings. See? This building, that building, like the ones, like that one, these kind of buildings right here. Okay, so those are the ones that are behind the other ones. So you want your tones to be very muted. Now I'm going to grab some more black with that blue and that gray that I made. Maybe put another one here. Okay, so there's more black. Maybe I'm making this one a little taller. Alright, and these are going to go here, there, not everywhere. Here, there, not everywhere. Now, am I going to copy my city skyline exactly how I have it in the original? Absolutely not. This is your city. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city. Right? So, all I'm doing, now I'm going to grab some red. I'm going to grab some red, I'm going to grab some white, I'm going to grab some black. Okay, and I got a nice little purple color. Let's put another one here. Maybe he's a big guy. Alright, so we're going to put another one here. Alright, and you're just going to drop these in. You're just going to drop these rectangles and squares in. Here, there, not everywhere. They're the buildings behind the buildings. Okay, my skyline does not show the rooftops, because we are not going to go into all those sorts of angles. I'm not worrying about the bottoms of these because they're going to have other buildings in front of them. And now I'm just going to very quickly, now that I showed you those kinds, I'm going to just be playing with the blue, the red, the black, and the white. And I'm just going to drop some more in here. Alright, so I'm just going to drop a few more in here. Lickety split quick like. Okay, so just doing these rectangles. Rectangles and squares. Not worrying about anything else. Just dropping these in. Alright, because these are the buildings that are behind the other buildings. Maybe one's over here. Okay, so we have those. Right, just using Mini-Me, the nice flat on Mini-Me, and filling these in. Alright, and it's muted tones, so, you know, not bright, not bold at all. That's why we're not mapping in white. We're not worrying about any of that. So, you want to drop these in, as many as you want to have in here. Okay, and these are the buildings that are in the back. Right. Okay. So you guys are telling me that you're interested in this. Okay. That's all right. Yep. So I'm going to it's definitely going to have a 1/2 inch flat. For those of you that are a little wonky with the 1-inch brush right now, and plus some of you are using smaller canvases. So the 1-inch brush might be a little too big for whatever you're going for, especially if you're using a smaller canvas. And if I had the 1/2 inch in my arsenal, I could turn around and drop these buildings in a heartbeat. Alright, now that we have those, you want those to dry a little bit. Alright, now we're going to do the buildings in front. The bridge reminds you of the Brooklyn Bridge. Yeah, I looked at the Ben Franklin. I looked at the Ben Franklin Bridge, but I could see the Brooklyn Bridge in there. Okay, now I'm going into Big Boy. You guys can use Mini-Me. You can use a smaller flat if you own it. You can use whatever you want to use. And I am just working with the same colors. I'm using less white, so they're a little more bright now. but I've got the red over here, and I've got the blue gray over here. I've got my black, and I am just keeping Big Boy nice and flat and thin, and we're going to throw in the buildings that are in front. Okay, so bam. We're going to throw the buildings that are in front in here, okay? So I only need like one swipe. Some of these are thinner, and I'm just going to change my colors up. Right, grabbing, so these are a little brighter than the other ones, right? And we're going to throw the buildings in that are in front. Okay, so let's do some red ones, and then let's do some, I'm going to grab some black on this brush now with some blue. Let's do like some black and blue ones. Okay, maybe there's a tall guy right here, right? Maybe another one right here. There's the other one. Throw another one here. Okay, so now I'm just doing little squares, little rectangles of the buildings that are in front. So, Carolyn says it might be a good idea to put in an extra mini-me. Oh, that is a really good idea, Carolyn, because the first ones that go, the first ones that are going to wind up being used up on you are mini-me and tiny. Those are the only ones I've had to replace every once in a while. So that is an excellent idea, Carolyn. I can throw in another mini-me and another tiny. Now, our city had reflections. I did reflections the other night, but, right, so I'm just going to drop in. I'm going to drop in the reflection of these buildings, right? Because they're, oop, that was bright. There's white in there. Shoop, get rid of that brightness going on. There was white in there. All right, so we're going to drop in these reflections real quick, just because that's what's on the original. Right, throw some more buildings in. There's some blue ones. Right, blue one over here. Reflection, reflection. Blue one over here. Reflection. Okay, do another blue one over here. Reflection. One right there. Reflection. I'm going to wipe off my brush now. I'm going to grab my white and some this dark color. Finish off my line. And we need one more to finish off the skyline. And reflection. Okay. Brush, wipe, and so down, 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 down. Wipe off my brush and swipe across. Right, so there's all your reflections. I'm going to do my line. I'm doing this quickly because this has nothing to do with, right, so I'm going to do my black line going across. Swoop. Right, there we go. Bam. Alright, so there is your skyline with your reflections. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry a second. Let's do a little bit of roll call. Swipe with the dry brush. Yeah, April, yes. Well, my brush, I used the same brush, but did you hear me say I'm going to wipe off my brush? I'm going to wipe off my brush. So even though I used the same brush that I painted the buildings with, if you want to grab a different brush, like when I taught reflections, to grab a clean one, That's probably a good idea. So I was wiping it off.